29-year-old actor Ezra Miller has been in the headlines a few times this year for his high-profile run-ins with the law in Hawaii. The body camera footage was released this week, and I'm going to break it down for you today. But first, here's a little bit about Ezra Miller. Miller's feature film debut was a movie called Afterschool, made in 2008. Miller also portrays Barry Allen, or The Flash, in films and television set in DC's extended universe, most notably Justice League, and the upcoming 2023 release of The Flash. And something I didn't know about him is in 2010 he dated Zoe Kravitz, who's the daughter of Lisa Bonet and Lenny Kravitz. This was all while they were filming the movie Beware the Gonzo. But this latest run-in with the law is not Ezra's first. On June 28, 2011, while shooting The Perks of Being a Wallflower, Miller was the passenger of a vehicle that was pulled over in Pittsburgh for a broken taillight. Police discovered 20 grams of marijuana in Miller's possession. The actor was initially charged with drug possession, but the charge was later dropped by the judge. Ezra paid $600 for 2 citations of disorderly conduct. But on April 6, 2020, a video surfaced in a since deleted tweet that appeared to show Miller choking a woman and throwing her to the ground. The video was confirmed by Variety to have taken place at Prikið Kaffihús, a bar in Reykjavik that Miller frequents when in the city. A bar employee identified Miller as the person seen in the video, who was then escorted off the premises by staff after the incident. Alright, so now let's talk about the Hawaii incidents. Earlier this year, TMZ released a video that showed Miller getting denied entry into Smith's Union Bar in Chinatown in Honolulu. In the video, you can actually see the female employee physically push him away to keep him from going inside the bar. A witness on scene claimed that the confrontation happened after the actor was allegedly kicked out of another bar across the street. Honolulu police officers showed up after being called because of Miller causing a scene outside the bar. Miller was asked to leave and was issued a formal trespass warning. Trespass warnings are usually good for 1 year, and if you go back to that establishment within that designated time frame, you will be arrested for trespassing. Alright, on the night of March 28, 2022, at a karaoke bar in Hilo, Big Island police officers would arrest Miller shortly after midnight. The officers had responded to a call of a disorderly patron in the bar. Miller had apparently become unruly and began yelling when people started singing karaoke. Miller began yelling obscenities and even at one point grabbed the microphone from the hand of a 23-year-old woman while she was singing. Hold on, I'm going to let you finish. And then later, Miller actually lunged at a 32-year-old man who was playing darts. The bar owner did ask Miller to calm down several times that night. The very next day, Miller had a TRO, or a temporary restraining order, placed on him by a couple that Miller was staying with, who insisted that Miller threaten their lives. Now, apparently the husband, Nigel Hales, said that Miller had been staying at their house for over a week. His wife had allegedly met the actor at a farmer's market, and they hit it off. The trio was enjoying their time together for several days. The husband was even driving Miller around town and helping him run errands. Sounds like a good dude to me. Now, sources say the husband claims that he was the one who bailed Ezra out of jail after he was arrested and paid the $500 bond. The husband claims that just hours after bailing Ezra out, while they were back at their home, Ezra lost it. Nigel says that Ezra burst into their bedroom and threatened them, saying, "I will bury you and your slut wife." The husband claimed that Ezra stole his wife's passport and even his wallet, which contained his social security card, his driver's license card, and several bank cards. That couple did end up dropping the TRO request on April 13, 2022. Ezra was charged with harassment and disorderly conduct. He pled no contest and he paid a fine of $500. Then, just hours before his next court appearance, on Tuesday, April 19, 2022, officers were called out to a home in the Leilani Estates in Lower Puna. This is the same subdivision that Kilauea partially destroyed during the lava flow. Leilani Estates is located on the eastern tip of the Big Island. Now, according to the Hawaii Police Department, Miller became irate after being asked to leave the get-together and even threw a chair. That chair actually hit a woman in her head, causing a half-inch cut on her forehead. She refused treatment at the scene. When police responded, Miller had left, but they would find him and perform a traffic stop on Miller about 20 minutes away at the intersection of Highway 130 and Kukula Street in Kea'au. Now, Ezra was arrested on assault second, and that is a felony. Assault second is when you use a weapon to hurt somebody, like a bat, or you cause substantial bodily injury, like a deep laceration or maybe a broken bone. This arrest came less than a week after the U.S. release of the Harry Potter spin-off Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. In this movie, Miller plays Credence Barebone. Miller was RPI'd, which means released pending investigation, and released at 4:05 that same morning. Miller claimed to have been assaulted during his arrest. Well, the body-worn camera footage has been released, and we're going to break it down right now. All right, the video starts off with officers talking to the man who Ezra apparently lunged at while he was playing darts, and apparently even tried to spit on. I gotta admit, brother's story is pretty funny. They did have to blur him out for his own privacy.
No, this brother, I was playing darts.
Okay. And then what?
With my good girl.
Okay.
And he come right up to me and just like...
All right, this is when the guy acts like he's gonna spit on the lady officer. She's trying to demonstrate what happened to him. And I like where his head's at. The story's not the same if you don't act him out. Proceed, my man.
No. I never spit on him.
Okay, so he spit in your face.
Two.
And here we go with the typical, classic, local boy scrap story. They all start like this.
And I was like, what's up, cuz?
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah.
And then I sample.
And there it is. Oh, sup? You like scrap? You like sample?
You know
Okay,
what?
spit in your face for no reason.
Girl.
All right, so this is a technique that we call echoing. The officer repeats the story in simpler terms, breaking it down to what's important for the elements of the crime. This also builds rapport with the person you're talking to because it makes them feel like you're actually listening to their story.
Okay.
I feel like he thought he was somebody else.
Now, the victim's friend actually said something very telling. He thought that Ezra thought his friend was maybe somebody else, the way he was acting. Now, this is a common thing when the victim really didn't do anything to deserve whatever the suspect did to him. All right, so the next clip. This takes place inside the bar, with the officers actually talking to Ezra. The officer on scene is trying to get Ezra to move outside the bar so he can actually investigate what's going on in a safer environment. This time you'll notice that Ezra is actually filming with his camera and his light activated on his phone. He claims that he was assaulted and that's why he started recording.
No, I got assaulted and I started filming. Let's show you the video.
Let's talk stories outside.
Let's talk story outside.
This is when Ezra agrees to leave the bar with the officers. And typically, this is when dudes want to fight or run.
Ezra Miller, this is on the warrants, but he's caution code unstable 29 Caucasian Hill.
All right, so that was the dispatcher running a rap warrant check on Ezra Miller. She said 29-year-old Caucasian male with no warrants. He did have some kind of a caution on him, though, probably because they had been called so many times recently about this dude. And once he gets outside, this is when it gets weird.
I'm assaulted in this bar twice in a row. I filmed myself when I get assaulted for NFT crypto art.
I got assaulted and I started filming. Let me show you the video. I like to film myself when I get assaulted for NFT crypto art. But then he starts to get all puffy and swole on the officers in the parking lot. Then he asks for the officers' credentials, their badge numbers, and their name. And you hear the officer say, Wycoff.
What's your name? What's your badge number? Tell me your name and your badge number. Wycoff.
Full name, full badge number, he demands.
Ezra.
Full name, full badge number. Tell me your name and your badge number.
What's your name? What's your badge number? With that drunk voice, like you've been drinking and smoking all night.
Tell me your name and your badge number. Please don't touch me. Tell me your name and your badge number. Now.
Now, at this point, he's actually running from officers, circling them in the parking lot with his flashlight on his phone, aggressively yelling.
Tell me your name and your badge number now.
He's like, Wycoff, 236. What else you want from me? I gave you my name and my badge number. Chill out. He's obviously not threatened by Ezra. Gives him his name and his badge. He's just like, bro, calm down. We don't want to be here. We don't want to be doing this. Why are you making it so hard? And this is when Ezra really digs his own grave here. Until now, he probably wasn't going to jail. All right, it's at this point that the policeman tells him to stay out of the roadway.
Sir, get off the road.
And the next clip shows you what happens when you act like this guy.
Central 131.
I'm being arrested for disorderly conduct.
Yeah.
First of all, I love that female cop. I loved everything about how she acted that night. All of a sudden, the dude starts calming down, asking questions all surprised. This is why getting drunk is risky. Now he realizes he screwed up, but it's too late. The problem is once that train's pulled away from the station, there's no getting it back, and there's no getting off. And the sad thing about this whole thing is those guys probably didn't want to arrest him. I'm being arrested for disorderly conduct. She's like, yeah.
I was assaulted. Right?
I was assaulted. You understand that, right? Okay, she says. But notice the policeman on the right. He breaks it down perfectly.
Like, you should have told us that instead of running away and playing all of these theatrics. You could have just told us that.
I'm sorry.
Well, you should have told us that right when we got here, instead of putting us through all these theatrics. And that's when Ezra's like, okay, I'm sorry. Uncle's like, no, you're not. Come with me.
No, you're not sorry. You could have took this thing real quick. But no, I like to play the game.
This sounds like every sergeant I ever had on the watch. That's exactly how they are. Like, this didn't have to happen. But you wanted to play the game. So now, we playing the game. Now you're going to jail. And of course, now he's going to act like he was complying the whole time.
I was complying.
But you didn't want to complain.
I was. You said get off the road. I got off the road.
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
I did.
No,
I
you
got to the edge of the road.
Central 131
So what did I do wrong?
Are you asking, so what did I do wrong? You know this already. Now you're just making more problems for yourself because you're trying to act big, trying to act tough. You don't want to be embarrassed.
The guy in that bar declared himself as a Nazi. I have it on film, and he attacked me.
Okay, so?
She's like, so? Freaking love this girl. All right, so the next part is actually of Ezra being patted down before his ride to the station. He's been arrested at this point. This is what we call the SILA, the Search Incidental to Lawful Arrest. This is a search that the police are allowed to do for their safety and for the safety of everybody involved, including the suspect. They are allowed to search for 3 things: weapons, means of escape, and fruits of the crime. In this case, there really won't be any fruits of the crime unless he had the chair that he threw at the chick, but that's not the case here. So they're really only looking for weapons and means of escape. Both of those are still a possibility. They are now looking for anything that can be used as a weapon to hurt somebody or to escape. That includes things that may break during transport and hurt the suspect or other officers. And this is why ice pipes are fair game when they're found. Even though the officers weren't searching for the pipe, they were searching for weapons and means of escape. And you feel that hard cylindrical glass object in their pocket that might break during transport and cut them, you have a right to pull that out. When you pull it out and you see it, and you see the residue, now you have open view or plain view, depending on the circumstances. You can't have the suspect getting hurt. He's in your custody. So now it is your obligation to remove it. That didn't happen in this case, but I just wanted to mention it. So the next clip is Ezra trying to play YouTube attorney with his 9th Amendment rights.
I claim my 9th Amendment rights to not be unlawfully persecuted for a crime of no designation, disorderly conduct being something I am unguilty of.
So he starts off by saying, I claim my 9th Amendment rights to be unlawfully persecuted for a crime of no designation. Disorderly conduct means something I am unguilty of. Not quite, buddy. The 9th Amendment of the United States Constitution states that the federal government does not own the rights that are listed in the Constitution or not listed in the Constitution. Instead, they belong to the citizens. This means that the rights that are specified in the Bill of Rights or the Constitution are not the only ones that people should be limited to. Nice try, though.
I claim my 4th Amendment rights to not be searched and seized on no probable cause.
Dude, the reason that police officers are there is because somebody called 911. And they did that because you were causing and creating a danger inside that establishment. They were asking for help. That is probable cause. Then you became disorderly in the presence of multiple officers. You created a hazard for yourself and to others by disobeying the order to policemen to get out of the roadway. All right, now this is where he gets goofy.
Unlawful. Hey, you just touched my penis. Please don't do that. I'm not transgender, non-binary. I don't want to be searched by a man. I'm transgender, non-binary, and I don't want to be searched by a man. I claim my 4th Amendment rights.
Hey, you just touched my penis. I'm transgender, non-binary, blah, 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 blah. Anything else you can say to try to disrupt what's about to happen? I don't want to be searched by a man. I don't want to be searched by a man. And why would anyone care what you want to be searched by? Women don't get searched by men. Men don't get searched by women. But when you're transgender, either one of them will work. You can't have a non-binary officer search you. But I see where you're going with this one. This is just the classic, I'm being arrested, so I better make this miserable for everybody involved. All right, so in the next clip, officers, it's weird. They find this magazine full of Nerf bullets. And then seeing how ridiculous this is, he even jokes with them about it.
Those are Nerf guns, just in case you worry that they're bullets. Those are Nerf bullets.
Thank you for letting
me. They are fake and they are a toy.
Thank you for letting me.
This is my belt buckle and my Nerf bullets.
I appreciate it.
All right, then they have to take off his jewelry. Because not only can it hurt his hands when they put his hands behind his back and slide him into that hard plastic seat, but jewelry is the most common way that people hide means of escape, like cuff keys or lockpicks.
Please don't take them from me. The flash ring means a lot to me. It's very valuable.
They gotta take your rings, bro. I'm sorry. So Ezra was trespassed from that bar. He insisted that that bar was owned by his friend Ryan. Well, I guess Ryan didn't want him there anymore. And then when officers are putting him in the car, he keeps asking for them to put his hands in the front. He says it's because he's a musician and some New York or New Jersey cops damaged his nerves in his hands, and it's really hard for him because he's a musician and the nerves in his hands are important. Please don't put my hands behind my back in the cuffs. You're going to damage my nerves. I'm sorry, bro. Too many people have escaped from the custody of police because they put their hands in the front. That's not going to happen. And the truth is, if getting arrested is too uncomfortable for you, don't get arrested. The assistant police chief, Kenneth Quiocho, said that Miller had been the source of at least 10 911 calls in Hilo since March 7th, 2022. Miller is still set to star in the movie The Flash, set to release in 2023. Well, that's it, guys. Thank you for joining me. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so that you know when more videos are coming out. I appreciate you guys for all the support, and until the next time, aloha.